What's going on, guys? For video, I asked you guys what I should tier list next, and somebody said the Arkham games, so we're doing this. So first, we're starting off with the classic Arkham Asylum. Now, I like this game, but I do think it's slightly overrated. I know some people are like S tier, but I think it's an A tier game. I'm gonna be honest. Arkham Asylum is a great game. I think my only problem is like just the open world. It's not really open world. It's like you're in the prison, which makes sense. It's just for me personally. I think the other games have such like great open aspects, like open world aspects. I just love those parts more. But I do think this game is still great. The combat, of course, is fun. I think the level design's great. All the villains, the boss fights are awesome. I like how creative they get, like with the Scarecrow boss fight. That's a really fun one. I think there are some times though where I kind of get annoyed because you do get lost a bit sometimes in the game. So I think that's something. But overall, the game is really good. It's really well made. It looks great even to this day, I think. And yeah. Next is Arkham City. Arkham City is a good game. Now a lot of people are say this is their favorite game, and I can see that it's an S tier game. Like genuinely, the open world is all right. I'm not gonna lie. The open world is okay. It does feel a bit empty and bland, but it makes sense why story wise. The Catwoman like part that you play in is great. The combat is still fun. They always do great with the combat in these games. The story is great. I do like the final. I always will like love that Arkham games' final fights aren't like these big crazy boss fights. They're just like it's just like oh, it's the Joker, and you kind of like just it's more story type of fight because that makes sense for Batman. Like if it was like a game where Bane was the main antagonist, makes sense. But for all these villains, they never set up this big boss fight, and I love that. Arkham City does great. It's just a great game. I'm not doing the collections based same thing, but anyway, Arkham Knight. Now this is my favorite game personally. Of course, Arkham Cities or any of these games are welcome to be your favorite. This is S tier, by the way. Arkham City Knight, in my opinion, I think the Bat car was a bit. It's all right. I think there's some times a bit annoying. I think the biggest problem with Arkham Knight is the Bat car sections where you have to like, do the gunfire or like the fire. They're just too dragged out, if it makes sense. Like the combat is fun for all 5 minutes when it comes to the car, but the Batmobile. Why am I calling it a car? But anyways, but after like a while, it just gets so boring, especially because it's story required for some missions to do it, and it just sets you that it just makes you sit there, do them for like in basically an hour. Not really. I'm like over exaggerating like a lot. It's probably like 10, 15 minutes. But by the end, you want to like stop it. And then the worst part is if you lose near the end of the fight, you have to restart from the beginning, and it's very, very annoying. The open world is great. All the missions are great. I love this game. The VR training is amazing in this game. You could play as like all different characters, really fun. Red Hood slash the Arkham Knight. You could play as all the different Robins and everything. Harley Quinn even. It's fun. I enjoy it so much. Also this game is beautiful, I have to say. Like this is the best looking Arkham game by far. It's not even close. It's glorious. Also, I love the Batman Beyond suit. I know it's a very contentious suit. Some people hate it, some people love it. I actually do like it. Next is Arkham Origins. This is our A-tier game. Arkham Origins is really good. I think it has a pretty alright open world. It's not the best, it's not the greatest, but it's good. I think my biggest problem is both to the detriment and to the success of this game is how weird the like defeating enemy is. Because if you hit somebody, right, they like just ragdoll. They go flying. There are times where you'll be fighting like a random thug. You'll hit him and he'll literally go straight through the ground or straight into a wall, and it's so funny. But I do say the one biggest problem about is also the combat is that it's a bit too floaty at times. If that makes sense. Like the other three games, it always felt like you were going straight into everything felt like a lot more weight. This did feel a bit more floaty. It wasn't too bad. Like there was still weight, but it didn't feel as nice in the combat. It also felt a bit slower. The boss fights are great. I have to say they did an amazing job with all the fights in this game. Like Slade, Killer Croc, it's great. I do like how they kind of went back and they they told the beginning, and they even have like DLCs from before he even became Batman, which is amazing. And I haven't played either VR games. I want to say real quick, but we're on to Suicide Squad. Actually, we'll do Suicide Squad a lot. We're on to Arkham Knights. It's a D tier. I think these are the biggest problems with the games. One, the combat is really, really floaty. Like Arkham Origins has some floaty combat, but Arkham or Gotham Knights, not Arkham Knights, is just like horrendously floaty combat. Nothing has impact. Two, the open world is not good, like at all, basically. I mean, of course, there's stuff to do, but the biggest problem is the fact that it makes sense for like Jason Todd Red Hood or Nightwing to not be able to fly. They don't have like wingsuits or anything. But why can't Damian or Barbara fly or Batgirl Robin? Like it's stupid. It's really dumb. Is that I don't know if it's Damian or I think it's Tim Drake actually. Sorry, no, it's Tim Drake. I'm pretty sure. Like that's so dumb. Like you have to unlock flying, and it sucks. It sucks. The game looks way worse than like I'd say this is probably the worst game in like worst looking game out of every Arkham game. Like Arkham Origins and Arkham Asylum looks better, and that game released like 2000 something. Another big problem is the fact it's live service. It should have not been that. It would have been way better game if it wasn't live service. I also give them competence in the fact that the combat, while super floaty and not like the most enjoyable, still has its like moments. I like there's a lot of customization. I just wish it wasn't like a live service type system. I wish it was just like, oh, you play the game and unlock it. Kind of like how as much as I like insult Dark Spark transfers Dark Spark for it, the fact that you can unlock the loot boxes during gameplay by just playing the game, you don't have to do it, is nice. I wish it was like that in Gotham Knights, or like in Justice, where you have to do challenges to get the customizations. That would be great. Um, but I will compliment it on also the takedowns, like the two-player takedowns are actually really nice looking, like genuinely. This game was such wasted potential. This could have been an amazing game, but it's just not it. It's just not it. Finally, Suicide Squad. I'm gonna say D tier. I don't think any Arkham game is F tier. Um, I really like the difference. I really tried to delete that row. I love the difference though. It's from D. There's two D tiers, two A tiers, two S tiers, no B or C, and that's exactly how it needs to be. But Suicide Squad. The games like move out. Let me get the negatives out of the way first for Suicide Squad. Obviously live service again. Live service sucks. The story is terrible, and the combat is very bare bones, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't feel anything crazy. It just gets super repetitive and boring. Now let me get to the. Now I'm gonna. It's just like that's basically it for the negatives, but those are like most of the game. Now I will say this: the combat was wasted potential. Like, genuinely, this game could have had great combat, good combat. I still do wish they went for an Arkham style game again instead of like a shooter. It would have been a lot more fun with Harley Quinn wielding her like hammer and stuff. Uh, King Shark, would have been great in that. And then they all could have played differently. Red Hood could have, or not Red Hood, Deathstroke could have still not Deathstroke. Do you know what? Deadshot still could have used guns, but like it could have been more like Jason Todd in Arkham Knight, where he can like it could have been great because he could have comboed and shot mid thing, or he could have had like how there's batarangs. He could have had like his guns, but you have to be precision with them, like the sniper and stuff. That would have been great. Um, yeah, no, but they messed up with the fact of the shooter, and the shooting isn't horrendous. I'll say it's just very very boring and repetitive, and I'd rather have it be comically bad than boring and repetitive bad. Um, the one biggest thing I'll compliment is the game doesn't look like complete dog shit. Like it generally looks all right, pretty good. In fact, at times, nowhere near the act like the main four, but definitely better than Gotham Knights. And also, the movement, I'll say the movement is perfect. I'll say that. The movement in this game is perfect. Every character has their own unique way of moving. You got Harley Quinn, she has a little drone and you like grapple with it. That's fun. You got Captain Boomerang, he can throw it, and then he can throw his boomerang with the Speed Force thing and he teleports to it. You have Deathstroke who has a jetpack and Maui who jumps. Or is his name Maui? I feel like his name was Maui, but you know who I'm talking about. King Shark can jump. It's great. It is great movement, and there's also like options, do like a little air jump to do another jump. It's great. The movement is actually like, I think S tier movement. The combat is D tier because it's boring, the story is F tier, and then the graphics are like B tier. It really just the story and combat weigh it down so much. Because while the movement is great, it's not enough to hold up the rest of the game. Because the movement is a far smaller section or smaller thing than the combat. Also, the open world in this game is terrible. There's nothing to do. Nothing. It's literally not. There's no. I wish there were more cool missions and stuff. That would be great. And also, live service again brings it down a lot. I think it should have been a story game. Should have had the full complete thing there. Not have to pay for the rest of the story. I think the characters that they introduced in the side two are terrible. Like you have Mrs. Freeze, who's like Mr. Freeze alternate, but it's his wife instead. That's terrible. I think the Joker release, but it was like a shitty Joker. And Deathstroke was the last character introduced, a character people actually wanted. It kind of brought back the game for like a second, and then they shut it down. But yeah, that's the Arkham game tier list. I haven't played these games. I actually do want to play it, but I need a new Oculus. I need Oculus Rift 3 because I only have a 2. But yeah, that's it. Bye bye.